Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I'd like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And of course, I think of my favorite quote of the century by Oscar Wilde, which says, "Life is too important to be taken seriously, so lighten up, folks." So today's topic is, drumroll please, travel time part 8. Yay! I'm happy yet I'm sad because this is the final episode of this 8-part series. So the last one I spoke about 2017 when I went to Mykonos for the second time. Uh, Within the States, I think I mentioned the previous video to that one that lately, in recent years, my stomping ground is like Palm Springs and Fort Lauderdale. And like pre-pandemic, those two places twice a year without fail. I have not flown anywhere since the pandemic, but I did finally go to Palm Springs again. So I think when the last video aired, video 6, I was away. So I did go to Palm Springs for a week with my friend Bunnies. Hey, Bunnies. Middle towards the end of March. So it was wonderful and just kind of great to be there. I'm going to probably go there again for Thanksgiving, and I need to make a trip to Fort Lauderdale. But this particular video is about going back to Europe, specifically to Spain. So 2019, Mykonos is 2017, so 2019 with Bunnies again. Hey, we went to Spain for the first time. So we went to Barcelona for 4 nights, and then we went to Sitges. Sitges is like the gay beach resort. And beginning of September, for like 10, 11 days, they have like this international bear leather blah 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 event that happens there for like 10 nights. And so we went specifically for that. Now, am I a bear? No. I don't even have hair on my body, and this is all natural. But I figured I'm going to pour honey all over myself, call myself Honey Hoo-Ha, and hope for the best. Reach for the stars, bitch, right? Because bears love a little honey. So Barcelona was incredible. I did all of the wonderful sites. Like, if you ever go to Spain, you have to go there. We even did like that double-decker bus thing, and, went to like all the places that you should go to. Lots of cultural stuff. The food was great. And I think we stayed at the Axel Hotel. I spoke about that in the last video when we went to Mykonos, because that's where we stayed there as well. And as I said in that video, they have them scattered all over the place, and they're fabulous gay hotels. And this one also, they had like a breakfast thing, and they had the pool upstairs, and, because it is very gay, it was great. I remember when we were checking in, though, like we got in at like 6, 7 in the morning, and there had been like some cruise that was happening. So all of those guys got in at the same time. So I do remember, a lot of times you want early check-in, but we didn't get that. We ended up having to wait a minute to get in. But anyway, we were there for 4 nights. Then we went to Sitges, and Sitges was incredible. I mean, just kind of wonderful to be out there and meet all these people, like, internationally. And we did meet these group of guys from Australia. And they go every year. We've seen them since then. Hey, Joe. Hey, Ian. Hey, Frank. I'm not forgetting names, but David, a whole bunch of them. And we've seen them since then. So we went 2019, then we were going to go 2020, but then the pandemic. Bunnies did go 2021, I did not. But then we went again 2022, and we went for 8 nights, but this time we went directly to Sitges. And it was really quite wonderful. It was wonderful, but then it was interesting too, because like I went to the beach every day. Like when we went to Sitges, we stayed at this hotel that was directly across the street from the beach. So every day I would go to the beach and just lay out, because how many chances do I get to go to a beach? Like, living in New York, you got to go to like Fire Island. I'm like, girl, I'm over that, and that's too far away. This was like directly across the street. So eating great food, going to all the bars, meeting people, saw my Australian guys again, which was really quite wonderful. And stuff to do also, like, even just walking around, there's so many like wonderful like statues and things, and museums, and the food and the people and the beach and the the party atmosphere, because in the town itself is like, it's not very big, but it's small and concentrated, and but you have everything there, and so you don't need a car, obviously. So, and you walk along like the strip where the beach is, and you have all your restaurants there, and it's just kind of lovely. So we were there for 8 nights, and then we actually are going back. 2020, it was interesting. After 2022, we were both a little bit like, I'm gonna say that we were over it, but I remember Bunnies and I having the conversation, and we were both kind of like, eh. And I'm not exactly sure why I felt that way. But then it was, and I remember that year, like I had not gotten COVID, but then I had gotten it that 4th of July of that summer. And then we left like the end of August. It was 2 months later. And I do remember that when I had it, even to date, sometimes like breathing and whatnot, not that I have difficulty breathing, but I definitely feel the effects of having had it, not once, but twice, when my lungs aren't what they used to be. And I just remember that when we got there, it was the first time in years, in a couple of years anyway, since the pandemic had started, that it was so freeing and breathing in that air, and it was wonderful and magical. So in 2023, we had not planned it, but then I ended up getting COVID for the second time. And I remember at that point, I was like, oh God, I'd do anything to be in Sitges, because I just remembered even just going to the beach every day, how wonderful it made me feel. So, and then we like pretty much decided at that point, we're like, we're going to go again. So the good news is this September coming up, we're actually going, excuse me, to London for 6 nights, and then Sitges for 6 nights. So this is going to be a fun European trip, because I've not been to London since '94. I've not been to Sitges since 2022. So of course I'm going with Bunnies. Hey honey, you're getting a lot of call outs in this video. Bitch, I love you. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to going back to Europe, traveling with Bunnies, seeing my Australian guys, and enjoying that. So now, between now and then, I don't know if I'm going to necessarily go anywhere. I've been really quiet about this, but I moved into this new apartment not too long ago. It's only been like not even a month. I'm going to talk about that in a separate video, but that's why you see this new backdrop. But I've been very secretive about that, and I still am not making a proclamation. Well, this kind of is a little bit, but anywho, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. If you ever go to Spain, I tell people, go to Sitges. Like, it's from Barcelona, it's like a 30-45 minute drive. Even if you just go for the day, the beaches are spectacular. The food is great. The people are great. And it's just kind of wonderful to be there, even if you're not necessarily staying there. It's easy enough to get to. All right, guys, don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, tell your friends. Check out my other social media, Fiona St. James, and of course, my self-published memoirs, The Life and Crimes of Fiona St. James, where I talk about this particular travel and all of the other traveling that I did. You can read it all with juicy details on everything, about everything in my book. So, all right, guys, love you so much. Thanks for being here with me, and I look forward to the next time. Love you.